action for another day of the week. Welcome to the Monday edition of Chasing That Paper, presented by VegasInsider.com. Check it out, representing the Miami Dolphins. What a win last night on Sunday Night Football. No need to dig into the stats or any of the coaching decisions or anything from that game. All that matters is that the Dolphins won, and all wins do count as the same, as we often say around here at Chasing That Paper. Hey, they only allowed 10 points, so good for the Dolphins. Back on track here a little bit. So Ian and I, we were talking ourselves up quite a bit on Friday. We had 4 straight profitable Football Friday programs. That came to a halt, though. This week we went 3-4 on Friday, so we will look to end the week on a winning note here. Monday Night Football going on tonight. We also have some NBA, some NHL to discuss. We're going to recap the week that was, the day that was in the NFL yesterday, and talk a little World Series here. Astros versus Phillies. Oh my God, the Yankees folding like a cheap suit. The games matter most. What else is new? Let's bring in my guy here, Ian McMillan from BetSided. Look at that. He dropped a button for us on his shirt today. Super sexy. Ian, how we doing? You feeling sexy or what?
Yeah, I've been getting ripped apart for some reason for my fashion on this show, so I decided to step it up a little bit. Got a nice new little golf shirt. I unbuttoned a button. I'm looking good, but yeah, Joe, your Dolphins just fucked me last night, by the way. And I had the over. It was well on its way to hitting at halftime, and then a total of 0 points in the second half. Tough day betting for your boy yesterday.
Yeah, they hit the off button on the offense for both teams. I had a same-game teaser, Dolphins, and I teased the over down, actually. I had it at 38.5, so I said, hey, this is looking pretty good here. And it was not to be. And, yeah, Mike McDaniel had his Nathaniel Hackett moment in that game, so hopefully that's something he will be able to learn from. Before we get into the picks, guys, if you're watching on YouTube, do me a favor. Hit the like button, hit that subscribe button right down there. Okay, no more funny business, Ian. Let's get right into it here. We got the Bears taking on the Patriots in New England. I'm going to let you hit leadoff. What do you like on the spread here?
Yes, I'm going to back the Chicago Bears here, +8. I'm not going to take them to win outright, although that would be pretty beneficial for my survivor pool that I'm in. Still alive, $25K grand prize. Still alive, down to the final 60 people.
Nice.
It's getting close. But yeah, I'm going to take the Bears plus the points here. I don't think the Chicago Bears team, and I might live to regret this by the end of the game tonight, but I don't think the Chicago Bears team is as bad as a lot of people think they are. We like to make fun of the Chicago Bears. Their offense is certainly painful to watch at times, but net yards per play, they're 17th in that stat heading into this week. Patriots are top 10, but the Patriots have had some red flags on their team this year, specifically the red zone offense, 29th in red zone touchdown scoring percentage. So if they can't find in the end zone, if they're held to field goals, it's going to be hard to cover this big of a spread. And also, I think Chicago can attack this Patriots run defense. Nobody runs the ball more than the Chicago Bears. And that is exactly where the Patriots' defensive weakness lies. 22nd in opponent yards per carry, giving up 4.7 yards per rush. And finally, this might be a little bit of a hot take, but I actually like this bet more with Mac Jones starting compared to Bailey Zappi. If you look at their statistics through 3 games for each of them, yeah, sure, small sample size, but Zappi has higher yards per pass attempt, 8.5 to 8.2, higher completion percentage, 72.9% to 66%, higher QB rating, and has only thrown 1 interception to Mac Jones's 5. So I kind of like that Mac Jones is back tonight. I think that's going to help our Bears bet. I think it's too many points. Give me the Bears, +8.
Let's go Bears. Yeah, Mac is absolutely whack. You got to have Zappi in the game. What are you doing? Okay, my pick on the total for this one. Number sitting at 40.5 over at BetMGM. I am on the under in this game because this is going to be clock sucking at its absolute finest. Yes, that clock will be sucked all night long. Let me tell you a little bit about it. These teams ranked 1st and 6th and rushing play percentage. That means that clock is going to be moving all night long. Both of these teams pretty good against the pass defensively, each in the top 12 in yards per pass allowed, per pass attempt allowed. The Bears, by the way, third in passing yards allowed per game this season. Bit of a surprise. That's probably due to their style and the pace of their games. Each of these teams has been god-awful in the red zone, 28th and 29th in red zone TD scoring percentage. And this is an awful matchup for the Bears offensive line. They're allowing the most pressure in the NFL, and they've allowed 23 sacks in 6 games. Patriots 6 in generating pressure so far this season. So give me the under for Bears. Patriots. Ian, you got a prop that you like in this game. What are you looking at?
Yeah, I might be on the Chicago Bears to cover the spread, but there's a Patriots player prop I like, and that is for Ramondre Stevenson to go over his rushing total, available at 62.5 over at BetMGM. Over the last 2 weeks, Ramondre Stevenson has played at least 86% of snaps. So that kind of tells me that the Patriots are going to be leaning more on him and kind of getting away from the running back by committee that they've stuck to for so long. And I mentioned earlier with my last point about the Bears and the Patriots run defense. Well, I think the Patriots are also going to be able to run the ball successfully against the Bears defense. Heading into this week, Chicago ranked 24th in opponent yards per carry, allowing 4.8 yards per rush. And finally, Stevenson has surpassed this number of 63.5 yards, earned 62.5 yards in 4 straight games. So why can't he do it tonight? Give me Ramondre Stevenson over 62.5 rushing yards.
Why not him? Okay, so off to the NBA, a few seasons deep for each of the teams so far. The biggest underdog on the board today is the Pacers, coming in at plus 12, and I'm going to take a shot on those Pacers plus 12 in Philadelphia versus the 76ers. So I think that this is too close statistically to justify this high of a number, 12 points. So it's either close or the Pacers have been better in the EFG percentage, opponent EFG percentage, turnover percentage, opponent turnover percentage, and offensive rebounding percentage. And no need to sugarcoat it. The Sixers have sucked defensively. 28th in opponent EFG percentage, 22nd in points allowed per 100 possessions. And this Pacers team can fill it up, 5th in scoring so far this season. And the Pacers will not lay down in the 4th quarter of this game. Maybe it'll take a backdoor cover for us to pick up this win. But hey, I'll take it. The Pacers actually lead the NBA in 4th quarter scoring, and they're 3rd in 4th Q point margin. So, maybe the Pacers as a big dog tonight in Philadelphia. Off to a disappointing start here so far this season. We move over to the ice now. Ian, what do you like in the NHL?
Yeah, I'm going to go to my beloved Maple Leafs. I'm not going to bet on a side in this game, though. I'm going to go with a total. And I'm going to go Maple Leafs Golden Knights under 6.5 goals, all the way up a plus 115. I think quite a bit of value on this bet here. Heading into the season, a lot of people expect these two teams would be all offense and no defense. But that actually hasn't been the case through the first few weeks of the season. Heading into tonight, the Maple Leafs and Golden Knights ranked 3rd and 5th in expected goals against. So they have been playing very well in their own end. And they've been playing well offensively, but they haven't been able to find the back of the net very often. These two teams ranked 21st and 27th in shooting percentage, with the Golden Knights scoring on 9.22% of their shots, and the Leafs scoring on only 8.91% of their shots. And finally, if you look at the Maple Leafs box scores this season, they've only surpassed 6 goals once. And that was in the season opener against the Canadiens. They have failed to surpass this number in 5 straight games. So I just think these two teams play a lot more defensively than what we expected. I'm going to take advantage of that tonight. Under 6.5, all the way at plus 115. Love that value tonight for my best NHL bet on the board.
Sunny Las Vegas. We'll have to get Vegas Insider to fly us out to sunny Las Vegas one of these days. And we can take in a Golden Knights game, perhaps, and a Raiders game, and a UFC. Perhaps, all in one weekend. That's the way to do a trip to Vegas. Okay, wrapping up our picks. I will wrap it up with my favorite NHL pick of the night. I'm going to take the New Jersey Devils minus 125, hosting the Washington Capitals. So maybe a bit of a breakout team here this season. The Devils 3 straight wins after starting the season with 2 losses. Dig into the analytics. Very impressive. New Jersey, first in both expected goals for percentage and high danger chances for percentage. The Capitals, right around the middle of the league at 15th and 13th in those categories. This is going to be a major all-around defensive edge for New Jersey. Devils allowing around 10 fewer shots per game. Devils killing penalties at 93.3%. Washington way down there at just 66.7%. And I give the Devils a big edge in net. Mackenzie Blackwood, the pride of Thunder Bay, Ontario. 2 or fewer goals allowed in 3 straight starts. Darcy Kemper starting to get exposed here a bit. Maybe 3 or more goals allowed in 4 of his 5 starts this season. Gimme New Jersey! Yeah! So there you have it. 6 total picks, guys. If you are looking to back any of our bets or fade them, if you want, hey, the choice quite simply is yours. I recommend heading over to BetMGM. Let me tell you a little bit about them. Kick off your Monday Night Football betting with the king of sportsbooks. Sign up with BetMGM using bonus code VIBONUS, and your first wager is risk-free. Up to $1,000. That's VI bonus, all one word, no spaces, and your first wager is risk-free. Up to $1,000. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. You must be 21 or older. BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. Woo! Indeed. Okay, Ian. Let's talk about a little bit about what we saw yesterday. And I was curious to wake up this morning and take a look at the updated odds to win the Super Bowl. So, of course, no big shock at the top. We have the Buffalo Bills as a favorite. They're followed by the undefeated Philadelphia Eagles. The Kansas City Chiefs at third. And then things get really murky on the odds board. The San Francisco 49ers are the 4th favorite on the odds board to win the Super Bowl here. You really feel comfortable betting on the 49ers to win the Super Bowl? Different version of that team shows up every week. They got some ugly losses this season. You can't beat them up too much for losing to Kansas City yesterday, but they lost to the Bears, the Broncos, the Falcons. We have the Minnesota Vikings at 5th on the odds board. I think they're a bit fraudulent, Ian. 5-1, you dig into their stats. Maybe not as good as the record indicates. The Baltimore Ravens, they almost blew another game yesterday. They've been really bad at the end of these games. They blew that over for me and you. And then a couple teams that I want to talk about. So we have Tampa Bay, 16-1. Hey, they're still in first place in their division. We know what we've seen from them in the past couple of weeks. So Cowboys, Bengals, Rams, Chargers, Dolphins, and then outside the top 10, the Green Bay Packers, 33-1. So I want to ask you about the Bucs and the Packers. Are these bad teams, or are they just on a bad stretch?
I don't think they're necessarily bad teams. I think it's more of a bad stretch, especially with the Packers. I think at the start of the season, I didn't think they were as good as a lot of people thought they were, and now it's kind of flipped, and I don't think the Packers are as bad as a lot of people think they are, because you got to look at some statistics here. Now, I'm married to stats. People know this. That kind of bit me in the ass this past weekend when teams who weren't supposed to win won. But like the Packers, 17th in yards per play, 12th in opponent yards per play. They're an average team. They're probably going to make the wild card in the NFC. They're certainly not a Super Bowl contender, but they aren't a bad team that we should automatically fade every single week. And I actually kind of like them to cover the 10.5 point spread against the Bills on Sunday Night Football coming up in Week 8. So Packers, bad stretch for sure, but they aren't as good as people thought they were at the start of the year. The Buccaneers, I'm a little bit more concerned about because, yeah, their defense is good, but this Buccaneers offense, 26th in yards per play this season. That is not good. They're averaging the same amount of yards per play as the Panthers, who they just lost to, who they only scored 3 points against. So it just doesn't feel right when I'm watching this offense. They're just so out of sync, and guys are dropping balls, and Brady's making bad throws we haven't seen him make before. He's getting mad at his team. I'm concerned about this Buccaneers team now. They do play in the NFC South, but Falcons might win that division. Let's be real.
Enough excuses here for Tom Brady, right? First of all, let's touch on the Packers. Back losses now to the Giants, Jets, and Commanders. Who would have saw that coming into the season? Coming back to this is something I've been harping on. The offseason, preseason, and this season, they did an awful job of replacing Devontae Adams, the eighth receiver off the board, and Sammy Watkins, who finally got back on the field yesterday. Romeo Dubes is absolutely killing them out there. So, I don't know, and their defense isn't as good as people thought they would be. So, the Vikings, who I said I think are a bit fraudulent, they're still finding ways to win games, and they're starting to distance themselves a little bit from the Packers. So when it's all said and done, I wouldn't be surprised if the Packers didn't even make playoffs. As for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, yeah, maybe they turn it around here, but enough excuses for Tom Brady here, guys. I'm watching the broadcast yesterday, and they scored 3 fucking points versus the fucking Carolina Panthers. The week before, they couldn't do anything in the red zone versus the Steelers, whose defense absolutely stinks. And the announcers are making excuses for Brady left and right. Oh, new offensive line. Oh, they had the nerve to say no Antonio Brown on the team this season and no Gronk. He still got a couple pretty good receivers. Yeah, I know Mike Evans dropped a bad one there yesterday. But how about calling out Brady for not being a good teammate, which is true. He's we all know the story, skipping the team walkthrough so he can attend Robert Kraft's wedding in New York on a Friday night. Follows that up by chewing out his offensive line on the sideline. That was a bad look. So, yeah, but they're in what looks to be like a bad division, the Bucs, and they're still in first place if the season ended here today. So let's talk about it. Other couple teams here going in a different direction. So right behind the Packers on the odds board, Ian, we have the New York Giants. Picked up another win there yesterday. They are right around 40-1, and right behind them at 47-1 is a team that's close and dear to your heart, the Tennessee Titans. The Titans are going to host another home playoff game. And for God's sakes, they're 4-2 on the season, but they have a minus 13 point differential. So my question for you about these teams, like going into that Giants game versus the Jaguars, like every sharp bettor, every person I respect was on the Jaguars in that game. Like the Giants' stats weren't indicative of a team that was 5-1. They're certainly not indicative of a team that's 6-1. All one-score wins, by the way. But can you give these teams any credit whatsoever?
Yeah, here's the thing. You can look at these teams in two different ways, and I get in this argument all the time. Last year was with Titans fans. This year I'm getting in fights on Twitter with the Giants fans because they come at me and they say, oh, the wins and losses are the only thing that matters. They're 5-1. You have to give them credit. And if you look at sports like a sports fan or a fan of these teams, then yeah, wins and losses are the only thing that matters. And for those situations, I do give them credit because they are finding ways to win games that they probably shouldn't win. But my job as someone who bets on sports is to evaluate how good teams actually are. Because you're not going to just bet on sports based on what a team's win record and loss record is. If that's the case, then if the Giants play the Chiefs this weekend, you'd set the Giants as favorites. And you wouldn't do that. That'd be stupid. So I need to take a little bit of a deeper look into these teams. And no, I will not give them credit. Yeah, they're winning games, but their stats stink. They aren't performing well. I will say out of the three teams that have been surprising that I will give credit to actually are the New York Jets because their defense has been fantastic. Top 10 and basically every single defensive statistic, top 5 in a few of them. The Jets have actually impressed me quite a bit. Now the Giants and the Titans, I haven't calculated net yards per play yet this week, but they will be in the bottom 5 in net yards per play. And the big reason for this, and this is something that a lot of people don't really think about, is that the NFL only has 17 games. So the sample size of games is very small. So we're now, 7 weeks into the season? That's only 7 games. If you're looking at any other sport, if the Sacramento Kings started off 6-1, you wouldn't start calling them a good basketball team, would you? No, they found ways to win early. That's the same way with the NFL. Just because there's fewer games doesn't mean you have to look at it a different way. They're 6-1. They found ways to win games. Does that make them a good team? No, it certainly absolutely does not. No credit to the Giants or Titans. A little bit of credit to the New York Jets.
Yeah, the New York Giants certainly catching a lot of breaks, and the New York sports fan who I said last week that I was getting a little sick of, they've had the wind taken out of their sails by, how about the New York Yankees, coming up short once again when the games matter most, getting swept. Really, Yankees? You're getting swept in the ALCS? That was absolutely pathetic, but it wasn't a surprise. Hey, congrats to the Yankees, though, on finishing second in the American League. I know they like to celebrate league-centric awards like Aaron Judge becoming the American League home run leader. So second place to the Yankees. Maybe they can hang a banner, get some silver medals for the Yankees. Hey, you got swept, but hey, second place, guys. And in the American League, that's not bad at all. So I want to talk a little World Series here, and I'm always the first guy to give Ian a lot of shit, when he doesn't comb his hair or he wears an old weird-looking T-shirt on the show. But I'm going to give him a lot of credit here. A couple weeks ago, we were asked to make our predictions for the World Series. I said Astros, Braves, kind of chalky, I guess. Ian, though, said Astros, Phillies. And here we are, Astros, Phillies set to meet. Kind of a sexy World Series, I think. Some really good star power in this one. We have the Astros, no big shock, coming in as a favorite, minus 185 to win the series. Phillies coming back at plus 160. So what do you think, Ian? You going to take a shot on the lovable underdog here? Or do you think the Astros, who haven't lost a game yet in the playoffs, you think the chalk rides this thing out?
Yeah, I did predict the correct World Series matchup, but when I did that, I did say I think the Astros beat the Phillies in the World Series. I just think they're too good. They're too well rounded. The rotation is too strong. I placed two futures bets at the start of the postseason. One was for the Phillies to win the National League. That one is already cashed. The other one, I placed a pretty sizable bet on the Astros to win the entire World Series.
How much? You going to throw out something vague, sizable? How much? $8,000?
Yeah, I think it was about $56,000. I think it was in the Astros to win the World Series.
$56,000? Okay.
No, obviously
sure.
not.
Okay, no, I'll call you. I'd give you a little bit of shit for that. But yeah, I tend to agree. The fan in me, I have no horse in this race. I will be betting each game individually. Probably get into some pitcher props per usual. But the Phillies, once the starting rotation gets to Ranger Suarez and Bailey Falter, things really fall off a cliff for them there, I think. But I'll be cheering in my heart for Philadelphia Phillies. I'm a big Bryce Harper fan. He should be being promoted as Major League Baseball's version of LeBron James, but baseball's not smart enough to market its players like that. I don't like the way that people turned Harper into a punching bag when he left the Nationals and they went on to win the World Series. I don't think that was fair. They lowballed Bryce Harper. What about this Nationals team? Kind of off topic here. Well, kind of on topic. Look at all the talent that they've let come and go. Trea Turner, Soto, Harper, Max Scherzer. They all could be on that roster for the Nationals. Now they're deep into a rebuild here already. So Ian and I riding with the favorite here, but in our hearts, we will hope for the Phillies a little bit here, at least. Okay, guys, if you love what we do here at Vegas Insider, you are going to want to check out the brand new Vegas Insider app. We've got up-to-date, easy-to-navigate odds for every major sport. We have all our latest shows, best bet videos, and podcast props, trends, futures, news, all on the Vegas Insider app. Download the Vegas Insider app right now on Apple and Android. Bet better with the Vegas Insider app. We have a little internal chat here on the show that we do, and producer Tito is weighing in. Schwarber. I don't know what he expects me to do with that information. He's just providing random names of players. Verlander, yeah. Oh, Schwarber was on the Schwarber. Tito. He's saying Schwarber was on the Nationals. Yes, that's true. but he's not on the level of the Sotos and the Harpers and the Turners. And I would more associate Schwarber with his run with the Cubs. He's saying his point stands here.
Yeah, and he was on the Nationals last year for half a season.
Come on. You're just naming random players who happen to be a member of that franchise at some point. You know, it's funny with the Nationals. They lowballed Bryce Harper, and then everybody laughed at Harper when they went on to win the World Series. But how's that Steven Strasburg contract working out for the Nationals? They gave him a shitload of money. Has he even made 10 starts into that contract? What an absolute... That's got to be... If you're a Washington sports fan, like, okay, congrats, Nationals. You won the World Series a couple years ago. That's great. But the talent they've let walked out that door, homegrown talent... You know, no big loss with Anthony Rendon because he can't stay on the field. But could you imagine the top of your order if you had Trea Turner, Soto, and Bryce Harper? You're going to be in the playoffs most years. So that is absolutely brutal from them. And the Washington Commanders, that's a rough scene there as well. Okay, let's get into some viewer picks, these guys and gals. I don't think many girls are weighing in, unfortunately. So we would invite that. We're all about equality around here at Chasing That Paper. But let's check in with some of these guys. I guess Obi knows. He's submitted before. I like this one. Kind of an interesting bet. Under the radar, Fred Van Vliet. Over 1.5 steals, minus 130. Small sample size, sure. League leader in steals, has hit this number in his first 3 games. 3 steals each in last 3 versus Miami, dating back to February 2022. He had 3 4+ game stretches and 2+ steals each in 2021. Yeah. Bit of an under the radar prop. I like that from Obi. What do we got next, Tito? S. Cream. Give this guy a follow. Yeah. I don't know where my mind went to with that one, but he likes the Nugs and the Blazers, who are off to a blazing hot start. Under 228. Nuggets have Lakers at home Wednesday. Nuggets 3rd in 4 nights. Blazers 3rd. What's he just naming off their schedules here? Under has landed in 4 of the last 5 meetings in Portland. I don't necessarily disagree with the pick, but you got to keep one thing you got to keep in mind here is, okay, these teams 3 games in 4 nights, and you're talking back-to-backs and stuff like that. That's going to affect teams on the defensive end of the court too, where you need a lot of effort there. A lot of people always think, oh, they're on the second game of a back-to-back, they're going to be tired, so that will impact the offense. They won't score as much. It's going to impact them on the defensive end too. But I do wish my man good luck with his bet tonight. I do hope that the under 228 hits. And that one, and we got one more from a guy who's been tearing it up in this section, Nathan Schreckengost. Hey, if you keep giving us winners, guys, we're going to keep putting you on. So Nathan knows his hockey here. I like that him and his buddy there, they're wearing their Penguins jerseys. I got to get one myself. And he is on my Pittsburgh Penguins. He likes their team total over 3.5 plus 125 in Edmonton tonight. So Pittsburgh second in expected goals 4-5 on 5 hockey. Pens have scored 6 goals in 4 of 5. Yeah, they're flying. And Edmonton's opponents 4-1 to the team total over so far. And had big questions in net. Yeah, absolutely. Goaltending situation. Edmonton will be something that holds them back. They're not going to be able to make a deep run into the playoffs again, I don't think, with their situation here. So what do we think here, Ian? You seem like you got something on your mind.
No, I agree with that pick. I don't know if Jack Campbell's starting tonight, but he's a bum.
Oh, yeah. When you're, being discharged from the Toronto Maple Leafs to go play for another team, yeah, a team that's tanking should pick up a guy like Jack Campbell. The Oilers are a team that's kind of looking to break through and live up to such a top-heavy roster, though, for the Oilers, right? That's always been the case for them. Okay, guys, it is time for today's Handicapper Heat Check presented by VegasInsider.com. Yeah, absolutely. You're home for the best expert picks in the business. Since 1997, today we recognize Steven Nover. who can be found on Twitter at StevenNover1. Steven is on a 6-1 NFL run and started the NBA season on a 5-2 run. Save 33% on Steven's NFL or NBA picks today by clicking on the link in the description below. The discount will be applied during checkout. That's your handicapper heat check. Stay hot bettors. Okay, guys, we are winding right down here. Once again, I will ask, if you're watching on YouTube right now, give us a like, sub button right down there. Give that a little click there as well. Okay, Ian, a lot coming up from you over at BetSided and your podcast this week. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, daily bet slip live at 5 p.m. Eastern. Dive a little bit more into some Monday Night Football tonight. And Bacon Bets podcast will be recorded tonight. So if you want an early jump on some Week 8 picks, be sure to check that out first thing tomorrow morning. That should be live by then.
Do you have an early lean for Week 8? Have you bet anything yet for Week 8 that you can fill us in on?
Made a few bets for Week 8 already. One, the line has already moved. The Ravens opened up as underdogs to the Buccaneers on Thursday night, so I jumped on that pretty quick there. Ravens are now favorites by 1.5. And I mentioned it earlier. I love the Packers getting 10.5 points against the Bills next Sunday night as well. Also, my Falcons are going to beat up on the Panthers.
I like the over 49.5 for Dolphins versus Lions. Quite a bit. That's come down. I think it was that might have opened at 51. It's down to 49. So I do like that quite a bit. Yeah, the Dolphins, you got to start scoring when you get Mike McDaniel. What was that, dude? So that was that was a tough watch for me watching my Dolphins. And I wanted to wear my shirt today, and they got the win. And as we discussed, the only thing that matters is wins, right? In the NFL, no need to look into the context of how those teams are getting those wins. Okay, guys. So that does it for today's edition of Chasing That Paper. Make sure you're following Vegas Insider on Twitter. Our Twitter Spaces going down tonight before the Monday Night Football game. So you're going to want to check that out. Make sure you come back and check out Chasing That Paper again tomorrow. It's going to be a big NBA and NHL day tomorrow. Guys, thank you very much for watching. Good luck with your bets tonight, unless you are fading us. And as always, keep chasing that paper. Woo!